Myself, Vaibhav. In today's session of Market Movers, we will be taking a look on the USDJPY, which looks likely to be crossing to the levels of 107. After consolidating closer to the 106 zone, it is showing the positive sentiments prevailing in the today's session, and we will see if we can back it up with some technical analysis. If you consider the trading context for the day, earlier in the day we got GDP numbers for the Germany, and the GDP figures have been revised up. This is the final reading now. And if you consider the numbers for second quarter of 2020, the year-on-year growth rate stands at minus 11.3, that is the decline of 11.3 percentage point, and it is lower than the prior estimate of 11.7% decline. And in terms of quarter on quarter, the decline stands at 9.7 compared to the prior reading of 10.1%. So here the Germany's economy is still experiencing the contraction, but the magnitude of the contraction has been lowered. Later in the day, we got the IFO Business Climate Index data, and here there is an increase, and it is pointing to the optimism prevailing in the Germany on back of rather successful control measures in dealing with the coronavirus outbreak, and that has helped fuel the optimism in the business community. And now, for the month of August, the business climate index has improved to 92.6 compared to the prior month reading of 90.4. And also, there is an improvement in the assessment for current conditions, and the reading stands at 87.9 compared to the prior month's reading of 84.5. So the current conditions are also showing the improvement, and at the same time the expectations have also improved for coming months. Later in the day, we are scheduled to get this consumer confidence data for the United States, and at the same time, we will also be getting slew of other data releases, the new home sales, and the Richmond Fed Manufacturing Index data as well is due at the same time, and most of these readings are likely to pointing towards the improvement in the economic situation in the United States. So let's see how things will play out as we get the releases. Now let's shift our attention to the technical assessment. First we will consider the USDJPY, and then we will move on to the USDCAD. Let's start with the USDJPY's technical outlook. First, this is a daily time frame chart, and after rebounding closer to the 100% Fibonacci expansion of its prior fall, the USDJPY has entered into a consolidation phase. This time around also, it made a low closer to 105, and from that levels we saw the sharp turnaround, and for last couple of days it has traded in a range bound manner. But in today's session, the upward momentum has been quite visible, and I feel now that it is holding well closer to these levels, it is pretty much likely to get back to its immediate swing high, which is there at 107, and that's why we are targeting this price area with possibility of making making some profit in the process if we are able to get the optimum entry and the exit points. So coming to the 4 hourly chart, we have this central pivot point passing around 106.09, that is 106.1 level, and here in today's session we had a break above that price zone, and now for the time being the USDJPY is seemingly holding well above the near term support now, and this central pivot point can be considered as an immediate marker for deciding whether to go long or whether to simply sit on the sidelines. And for last 2 to 3 trading sessions, the momentum has turned upward, and after getting support closer to this prior swing low, also we are seeing renewed buying momentum coming in the USDJPY, and naturally, as I said, the target works out closer to this prior swing high, established around 107. And if you consider the central pivot point and the pivot point series as a whole, we don't really have any major resistance, at least not till this 107.99. That is the first resistance of this month's pivot point series. And of course, if we break on the lower side, then even the support zone is kind of quite far at almost 104. So there is no immediate the other deciding marker apart from these central pivot point. And now for the time being, we are pretty much headed on the upside, as I said, unless and until there is a clear break below this 106 level. So for the time being, we can continue to take the bullish bets, but of course, we have to figure out the optimum levels for us to get involved in these bullish dynamics. The regression curve is also pointing to the upward momentum gaining pace in the USDJPY, as after long consolidation the momentum is shifting on the higher side. So keeping that in mind, we will try to see if there are any emerging opportunities for us. And here we have this confluence of 50, 100 and 200 SMA around the price band of this 105.80 to 106.10. So in between these 20-30 pips, we have all these three key SMAs concentrating, and the price action is heading and maintaining well above this zone. So taken together, we have this break above this prior swing high on the lower time frames of hourly, and also we are now trading above this 200 SMA. So taken together, we have this immediate support zone coming into play around the 106 zone, and I think as long as the price action is above 106, we can continue to look for the buying opportunities emerging in the USDJPY. Suppose if in the latter part of today's session, if we see some further correction in the USDJPY and the price action dips toward this 106 zone, and if it is able to hold above or closer to this zone without any break on the lower side, and after due consolidation, we can indeed think about going for fresh long positioning, as I said, with the target closer to 107. And the stop loss won't need to be kept that far. I think a stop loss around 105.6 to 105.65 should do well. That will be lower than these immediate swing lows, and that should be good enough to cover all our risk, which we will need to take if we are going to trade in the USD And also this time around, the risk reward ratio would be better than the 1:2 as well. Now moving on to the USD CAD's technical outlook is not that clear as was the case with the USDJPY. Here we have these downward momentum lasting for almost a couple of months now. Almost this is the fourth month of this fall, which began in the month of March after making highs closer to this 1.46 zone. We are back to almost the pre-coronavirus days here in the CAD. And last couple of sessions, the USD CAD has consolidated well close to 1.32 zone. So let's see if there are any emerging opportunities for scalping in the USD CAD. Coming to the scalping opportunities, we have to play with the support and resistance levels in mind, and here on the lower side we have seeing this 1.315 acting as a crucial support for the USD CAD for almost more than a week now, and even in today's session that can be considered as a immediate marker for the USD CAD. But for the time being, we are seeing accelerated selling on the higher side closer to this 1.325 zone, and on the higher side also this price level has acted as a ceiling. We have these prior two swing highs around the identical area, and even in today's session the selling pressure is almost coming closer to the identical levels. So we are kind of looking for this range bound momentum to subside and break on the either side, and for that to happen we will of course need to watch out for crucial level for USD CAD. On the higher side, there is not much on resistance. If we get a break above this prior swing high, then I think the USD CAD will be able to get closer to 1.33 also. But first, we will need the consolidation to happen, and then only we will be able to take the position here. So for the time being, if we were to rely on this price action here, which has been range bound, we will need the USD CAD to uh, see the support coming in on the lower side, and I think we can look for a buy trade on the lower side if the USD CAD the selling momentum subsides, and if we see the USD CAD consolidating well above this immediate swing low, which is there around 1.14. So right now we are almost 40 pips away from this immediate swing low, and that is likely to act as a near-term support for the USD CAD. So let's see how things shape up in today's session, and if, as I said, if we see consolidation in the USD CAD and not a clear break below this crucial support area, then I think we can pretty much take our bet and try to see if we can get any opportunity to go long in the USD CAD with the immediate target coming closer to this prior swing high or even beyond that. So let's see, next couple of hours are crucial for the USD CAD's direction, and if we indeed see consolidation happening, then I think we can indeed get involved for the long trade. But for the time being, the selling pressure is too strong, and we should not try to catch the falling knife. So let's adapt and wait and see approach here. So that's it from my side for today's session. If any of you have any query or any idea to share, you can write it in the comment section, and I would be more than happy to take the discussion forward. Before I sign off, I would also like to remind of the risk associated with trading in the financial instrument, and one should be careful while using the information provided. Have a fabulous day ahead. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.